Perfection is impossible and stems most of the time from a deeply rooted personal insecurity within most people. Let's say that in childhood, you were never praised, you were never encouraged or given recognition for your efforts with whatever you did. Let's say that was the case. The unfulfillable desire to therefore impress your parents or impress your family, make your family proud so that they give you praise, recognition, or encouragement will fuel the fire of unattainable perfection that you are trying to accomplish but never will. So if you grew up in this kind of situation where you were never given praise, you were never given any of these things, that might be a big reason to why you could be perfectionistic or struggle with perfectionism all the time because of this dynamic that you experienced, and that's kind of continued on into maybe your young adult life, or maybe even your middle-aged, if you're a middle-aged person, whatever, if that's just the general mentality that you carry. But this will ultimately drag any person down, because it is in some sense a foolproof strategy to split your ego and foster guilt, burnout, shame, self-hatred, or even maybe like a complete sense of personal inadequacy. Because when it comes down to it, this is the belief that with perfectionism, you believe that your self-worth is based upon your achievements, but perfection itself is impossible. You will never achieve perfection. Your achievements also don't define your inherent value. They are instead a byproduct of your inherent value as a person. Instead, we should be striving towards a sense of completeness, not perfection. Jung wrote very interestingly in relation to this, because perfection is the insecure way in which we try to achieve something. Completeness, being complete, or going towards completeness, is the more secure way of going about things. And he said, instead of striving after the ideal of perfection, to content himself with the more accessible goal of appropriate or approximate completeness. The progress thereby made possible does not lead to an exalted state of spiritualization, but rather to a wise self-limitation and modesty. Now, this is because when he's talking about you don't want to end up in an exalted state of spiritualization, just because psychologically speaking, if you seek perfection or are under the spell of perfectionism, it will split your ego into polar opposites. And those polar opposites could be one of these two things. It could be complete grandiosity, whereby you think you are perfection itself and are better than everyone else at what you do. It could lead to that. That's what he means by exalted state of spiritualization, where grandiosity, you think you're great because you're always striving for perfection, all this other thing. Or the other option, which would be number 2, which would be the complete opposite of that, which would be viewing yourself with complete inferiority and inadequacy, whereby you think you are completely incapable of achieving anything when under the unnecessary weight and pressure that you put yourself under of extreme work ethic with perfectionism. It could be either one of those two things, and that's the splitting of the ego. That's to some degree the splitting of the psyche and the rejection of the shadow, because if you integrate the shadow, you're not going to be a perfectionist, because you're going to understand that perfectionism is actually rooted in maybe a past experience that you had in relation to your childhood, and identifying that and understanding it is going to massively help with not being a perfectionist, not putting too much weight on yourself because of a certain past experience that you might have had, that your parents didn't give you enough praise or acknowledgement or any of these things, and then you feel on an unconscious level, subconsciously, are actually still playing up to that reality, in the sense that you're constantly working to get towards perfectionism, even though you know that perfection isn't something that is possible to achieve. So if you believe that you are in any way resembling anything like this, that you are stuck under the weight of perfectionism, self-limiting beliefs, procrastination, anything of this nature, intrusive thoughts, then book in a free one-on-one coaching call with me, a discovery call where we will talk about the solutions that you can apply to fix these fundamental issues that come up with us every now and again. Or if you're someone who's been struggling with this for a long time, it'll be very much worth your while. So if you enjoyed this video, guys, make sure to give it a like, check out the links down below for that free discovery call, and I will speak to you in the next video.